pit stop. It's a pit stop. Pit stop. It's a pit stop. Pit stop. It's a pit stop. Pit stop.
And
welcome
we are
back. No.
Yes, welcome back to your Purple Pants podcast, pit stop coverage of Amazing Race, season 37, in celebration and anticipation for this week's premiere of Amazing Race, season 37. I'm super excited to be joined with my co-host, the winner of Amazing Race, season 29, Miss Brooke Camhi. How are you?
Hello, I am doing well. How are you?
I am amazing, and we are doing this special quick little pit stop coverage for you because if you tuned in to us this summer, we did a summer rewatch of Amazing Race season 5, an epic season. I'm so happy to be going back knowing my roots of Amazing Race. And during that season, there was a first that that was a trend that went on for the rest of Amazing Race, and it was the Phlimination.
And then Marshall and Lance show up. And in another Amazing Race first. Brice, you're here for so many Amazing Races.
I know. It's like, but there's just so much to this that confuses me, right?
Okay.
Okay. So when Marshall and Lance get there, they're, again, surprise, surprise, Lance is doing it. So then for me, what seems like 15 minutes into it, they're like, we count the scavengers and we realize it's the 7th one. I'm sorry. Did you guys think of how the pace that you have been playing at? Did you think that there was somebody behind you? Like, it took you 15 minutes and you decided to count and not realize that you guys were last?
Danny?
Yes.
Okay.
It's a little like bummer because I was holding the like, all right, do you just want to quit? Are you just like, hey, we're just going to like bow out because we don't want to finish? Like, or does somebody show up at where you're at for the first time in history? So it definitely was like interesting that he's like, oh yeah, we're still in the race. I'm like, have you seen anybody? Like, you haven't seen anybody all day long.
I think the thing is this. Marshall wasn't going to be able to do it and crawl around in the sand. It is what it is. And I think he's just becoming weaker and weaker and weaker. Lance like, I got this. Marshall's literally sitting on a chair at this point, like in the thing. But you know what? I feel like I have to give him credit for doing as much as he could do. Yes. And like the knee is not a pinky. Like you need your knee to do a lot of things. And this is a race and you're running. And he did the best he could with what he had. And I have to say Lance's positivity was really, really nice toward his brother. Negativity towards some of the other female contestants didn't age well, but his positivity with his brother really, really nice. And I think they were they were probably asked by a producer, like, why are you stopping? And he's like, we've counted the things. It's getting dark. We don't think it's another non-elimination. We've done all we can do. We're out. And in the first, go ahead.
So, because I was going to say, is this really a Phil elimination? Because I don't think it is.
Of course it is. What are you talking about?
I think Danny.
I think this counts as a quit.
Yeah.
I think that there's a difference between Phil showing up like in a certain hay bale challenge, maybe. Like they didn't give up. They kept going. They never stopped. But in this, it's kind of like, we're done.
Right.
I'm calling it a Phlimination. He comes out on the course. He says you are the last team. Because honestly, once every team is checked in, even if they kept going and not stopped, he was coming out to the course. He's not going to let them stay there for 14 hours whenever team is checked in. So like, call it a quit, call it a Phliminate. Either way, Phil's come out to you. All right, fine.
He came out, but he didn't Phil eliminate him.
Yes, he did. You're the last team. You're out of the race. If he says to you, you are no longer in the race.
Because they were like, oh, we give up. And then Phil was like, well, it's a good, like, because you guys would have been eliminated. So they quit.
But then he says, you are the last team. You are eliminated. If Phil eliminates you, it's a Phlimination.
He did that to be petty because he's like, you're not about to quit. And I came all the way out here. So he's like.
Right. But even if
Purple, all right, we're throwing Survivor.
Okay.
You out there and say you quit. Is Jeff still going the tribe has spoken?
Are you quitting at a tribal council where Jeff snuffs your torch? If Jeff snuffs your torch, you're done.
If you quit and they don't even go to a vote, your torch doesn't get snuffed.
Right, I would call that a quit. Marshall and Lance were on the course and we're told,
but okay,
every other team is checked in. You are no longer. You know what? Fine.
You know what? Because this is what I'm going to do. Because then, okay, so in that logic, right, on Survivor, say if Danny were to quit because there was a crab challenge and we don't go to vote, then the next episode, right, they will go, Danny, the 5th person eliminated, even though he quit. So that's like Phil saying after they quit, you're eliminated, because that's the lingo that they have to use.
All I'm saying is if they quit on the course and Phil didn't come out and it was like we quit and they walked off into the sunset, no Phlimination. Because Phil came out and said you are no longer in the race. Phlimination.
I'm with Danny. You got to be actively
you're both
doing
wrong,
your thing, and Phil comes out. So this was a prequel.
Because has anybody ever quit on The Amazing Race and not been eliminated?
Come on, Danny.
Yeah, but people have quit like at the mat and then they don't get Phliminated because Phil didn't come out on the course. The Phlimination is not. Hold on. The Phlimination is not the quitting versus not quitting. The Phlimination is the act of Phil Keoghan coming out onto the race course and letting a team know they are no longer in the race. That happens.
You can't be in the race after you quit.
Okay, but I can see to that point, Brooke. Brooke, you can agree, like they were eliminated by Phil, but they quit.
Thank you.
They were still eliminated by Phil, and they quit. Yes,
if he came out there.
The both bands.
They can both be true.
Yes.
Danny.
Oh, I thought you were on Danny's side for this.
Danny, what comes first, the chicken or the egg?
The quitting.
Thank you. So
But you can quit and also be Phliminated.
No, you can't. If you quit, you out the game.
And when Phil comes on the race course and tells you you're out of the game, that is the Phlimination.
You can't fillet me if I quit.
Okay. Anyway, teams answer the West.
No, wait. Because we're not letting Danny slide on this. We are not letting Danny slide. Danny, you need to pick a side. Who is it? The first Phlimination, or did they quit and he just came out to the course? You got to pick a side.
Keeping in mind that I say a Phlimination can be a team that quits as long as Phil comes out to the course. That is the Phlimination.
Hold on, Danny. Hold on. Wait, I'm getting a little static. Hold on 1 second. All right, Brooke going. Okay, go. Just tell the truth.
Okay, they quit, but then Phil used the word of like, "Hey, you're eliminated."
No, Danny.
Wait. He said you're eliminated, but that is like okay, they quit. He didn't eliminate them like in a traditional sense. It was like all right, you quit. All right, get out of here. You're eliminated. Like we don't.
You're eliminated on the course.
Okay, no, I'm not.
What are you putting on your busy glasses? Is this you're getting down to busy glasses?
No, because Danny is playing semantics here. So I understand that
some social.
So I want to know what's your thought?
I think it's the first. I would say this is the first team that's ever quit the game.
Thank you.
Disagree.
Reason for why I like.
So you're telling me you don't think Phil coming out on the course is a Phlimination?
I think that I would classify, if you asked me, this is the first time, I would say, hey, this is the first time someone's quit. And I think that's not my question. I agree. Hold on.
Wait, what did I say?
I also agree.
Asked and answered. Asked and answered. Your Honor, asked and answered.
Overruled. I also agree. This is the first time a team has quit. This is the first time a team has quit.
Put a period in the sentence.
This is also the first time Phil has ever done a Phlimination. It is both. Okay. If you're watching this, chime in underneath and tell Brice why he's wrong. Thank you.
I'm not wrong. I agree with what you're saying. It's the first time Phil came out there and had to do his job, because they're really working Phil this season. Because Phil had to get up 6 o'clock in the morning last episode to get Colin and Christy to check them in, and then they had him working late tonight. All I'm saying is, for me, the youngest person on this podcast here currently, so you and Danny have lived longer lives than I have, but
that's wild.
A Phil elimination is where you are. and Phil comes out and it says, "Stop, guys, you're the last team to check in." That's a full elimination.
That's not right. But okay. Oh, yes, Danny, you have something to say?
No, no, because Danny.
What happened to Danny and Angie? What was the language that was used?
Well, so no.
I remember now you are eliminated, and we are the first team on the mat to ever be eliminated.
So, Danny, that's a different situation. That's Phil see me outside bop situation because that's another first of a first.
True. Multiple firsts.
But just to be clear, it wasn't the first Phil elimination. And Phil got to come out. You can't quit. If you quit, you quit.
All I'm saying is 2 of us have been on the show and 1 of us has seen 6 episodes. So I would just think that.
Oh, he gooped.
Brooke, you did not have to read me like that. And I got a Charlie horse. Hold on. Yes, if you were here with us this
Brice
summer,
refused to stop beating the dead horse.
because Brooke and I we kept fighting about it. Brooke has a definition. I have a definition. And we had guests on this summer and the guests were split between us. So could you settle a debate for us?
Please.
Thank you. So you know what a Phil elimination is, right?
Phlimination.
I mean, I can take a guess, but I don't think I know exactly what it is.
Okay, you know what? We won't even tell you. Yeah, what would you define a Phlimination as?
Yes.
I would define it as like definitely the eyebrow raise with the whole like going like that, and then just him saying you've been eliminated in a way that like maybe wouldn't be like the most happy. I don't know.
Where does it take place?
On the mat.
No.
They disagree.
Okay, so a Phil elimination.
There's many definitions of a Phil elimination.
Historically is when Phil comes to you, like you're still competing in the challenge, and because all the teams because all the teams have checked in, Phil, he ain't got time to be waiting for you to complete a challenge, so he comes to you and eliminates you wherever you are. But
I think that happened in my season, with the Philly Jones.
With the Philly Jones.
Yeah.
So, but I guess Brooke and I were having a debate because on season 5 was allegedly the first Phil elimination, but Marshall and Lance.
We can't do this again, but we spent like 40 minutes on the last podcast talking about whether if a team quits, but Phil comes to you on the course, whether it's a Phlimination if you've eliminated yourself, or whether the Phlimination is he comes to you and eliminates you, or because you've quit, you've technically eliminated yourself, does it not count? But we're letting the people decide. I know that Brice just tried to do what he did and tried to get another winner to say it was something different. I appreciate your pluck. We're just going to agree to.
Okay. We can agree to disagree, but okay. One last question for Greg. If we're playing Monopoly,
I think he's going to say, if you quit, if I run out of money, so I say I quit, does that mean you won or I quit?
Yeah, I mean, I feel like it's particular for the Amazing Race, because for the Amazing Race, you have to have Phil vote you out or say that you've been eliminated. Like, you can't actually quit.
That means every elimination is a Phlimination, though.
Right.
It's just.
And also, I mean, I'm kind of curious. So you said for this past episode, someone intentionally said, I quit, and they stopped the race.
In the last episode, last team, Marshall and Lance, knew they were so far behind and everyone else had finished. And so and one was hurt. So they're like, I quit. And so Phil came to the course and said, you're the last team, you're eliminated. That's a Phlimination. He comes to the course and he eliminates you. I don't think it matters if you've quit already or not, because he's basically just telling you can't show up for the next leg because you're done here. Because if it was a non-elimination leg, he could have come to the course and been like, you guys really need to finish because this is not an elimination spot. And then it wouldn't have been a Phlimination. Whatever. We spent way too long debating it last week. It's become a thing. And now I think I'm the only person not messed up. You're back. I'm back. And now we have a problem with the bottom.
Now, see, my question would be, did I leave the podcast or did my internet get disrupted? That's the question.
There is
So now I'm
nothing
back.
to. Okay, no, but okay.
Okay.
I will say if I had to choose a side, obviously it's a big debate. I will say as long as Phil comes, the definition of Phlimination is him coming to the mat. If he comes to the mat, it might not matter whether or not they quit or not. But it's up for debate. It's up for debate.
But we need to settle this debate here. Okay.
I'm not wrong. I have had people reach. Okay, I'm not going to say what my position is.
Now, I'm not going to say what mine is. I'm just going to ask the question.
Have you heard
Corey.
the term Phlimination?
Yes, I can
What do you know it to
where you
mean?
both stand. From my perspective, a Phlimination is when Phil comes and meets you on the course to eliminate you because you did not make it to the mat. I've heard people use it interchangeably in other places and just use it as when Phil eliminates you. I personally like to use it as the term of Phil comes and meets you out on the race course. You are eliminated.
Brice, he's agreeing with me. What are you talking about?
He's agreeing with me.
Hold on, hold on. Wait, follow-up question. No, hold on. Brice, hold on. Corey, if you have decided you're not going to continue.
No, but don't X that. Don't X that.
Hold on. Okay. I'm going to ask in a good way. This is what I do for a living. If you have decided you're not going to continue and you've decided to stop and you're not going to continue, you've decided you're not going to do the race anymore, you're quitting, and Phil comes to you on the race course to eliminate you, is that a Phlimination, yes or no?
I'm going to go with no, but here's my reason.
Okay.
You're withdrawing from the race, and I don't think you deserve to get eliminated. But for the closure of television, Phil has to be there. So he's going to be there no matter what.
One more follow-up question.
No,
what if it is a
Your Honor.
I have one more question.
Leading,
and then we can,
Your Honor. She is leading.
It's not allowed. So my question is this. In a situation where perhaps it's a non-elimination leg and you've decided to quit, like you can't quit because you would have kept going no matter what. What if Phil comes out on the race course and it's a non-elimination leg and they said they're going to stop? Is that a Phlimination or no? But quitting has nothing to do with a Phlimination. When Phil comes to the race course and eliminates you, that is a Phlim. All right, sorry. We started this bad.
Yeah.
I know.
No.
This is really interesting. It's really interesting. I think that's such a gray area. But if you quit the race, you quit the race. Like,
sure, I'm not saying you're not quitting. I'm just saying the act of telling you you're no longer in the race by virtue of you quit, or Phil says you're the last one there or whatever. I'm not saying a Phlimination in my mind has nothing to do with how your race ends. Quit, not quit, still searching for a clue, whatever. The Phlimination is the act of Phil coming out on the race course and telling you your time is done here.
You have every right to your opinion, although I disagree with it.
I'm with Corey. Because you just agreed with his Phlimination explanation was that he's coming to eliminate you.
Yes.
It's not called a visit.
What show were you on? I feel like
hey, listen, at this point I was on Amazing Race.
Just ask him the question so we
Okay,
can get
all
into
right.
the episode, because what's going to happen
No, here she go. No, Brooke, I'm not letting you do this. I'm not letting you do this today. Your ox is not broken.
Okay, just ask him to define a Phlimination for you.
What is your definition of a Phlimination?
You can't even say it. Phlimination. Could you please describe the definition of a Phlimination?
Of what Phlimination means to you?
Jesus.
To me, it's like so straightforward of like, you're eliminated by Phil.
But where?
Oh, in New Zealand.
No. Like okay, so
no leading, just ask.
I'm not going to lead.
Okay.
So is every elimination a Phlimination, or is it only an elimination that doesn't take place on the mat?
Oh, okay. See, now if we're getting super technical at it, then yes, I would say Phlimination is definitely when Phil comes to you not on the mat.
Okay. So
Boom.
right.
But that's it. That's what he said. That's it.
That's like the technical, but then there's like that blanket term where I think some people would say, oh, it's when you're eliminated by Phil on a non-elimination leg. But I would say, as a fan, I would say it's when Phil comes to you when you're not at the mat. And not everyone has had that misfortune. That's only been a handful of teams.
Brooke, you're celebrating. We always agree on this. I don't disagree that is okay. Fine. So now, James, where we disagree.
Okay, don't even say where we disagree. If a team has decided.
No, let me ask, because you got to ask that. Let me ask this. We got James. Sorry, James. We're real chaotic. And
No, I love it. I love it. I love it.
Beautiful disaster.
So, on this season, Marshall and Lance, they quit. And then Phil came and essentially
eliminated them.
Allegedly. Now, the question at hand is, was that the first Phil elimination?
Or not the first, because he might not know the season before. Was that a Phlimination?
Was that a Phil elimination?
Oh, for Christ.
They quit, and then he came. And by definition, what you
said...
Oh,
you're telling me not to lead him.
I'm just reminding him.
Okay. It's just tough to say, because a quit is a quit. So you're forcing Phil to come to you to eliminate you because you're giving up.
And since Phil is coming to you to eliminate you.
And like season 6 with Lena and Christy, they fought with pushing the hay bales. Like they never gave up to the point where Phil had to come to them. I would say that with Marshall and Lance, it's not really like you quit.
That's why I love James. Would love for you two to help settle the debate. Yeah, because we're going here. Because it's not all fun and friendly. Yes. Because we have winners. We have like recent winners.
I'm
and I feel
one
like,
too, though.
I mean, you know.
I think I know the. Okay, fine. Can you please define for us? This is so. Can you please define for us, if you can, what a Phlimination is? What does it mean for someone to be Phliminated?
Okay, I heard your debate on this.
You know what? The good thing is that we can split up our opinions.
Yes.
Okay, so one of you is a genius.
I haven't heard what your opinion is on this.
I don't know, but they can be Switzerland. It's just like
No, I have very strong opinions, so I'm not very Switzerland. I think it is. I don't think if you quit, you quit. You're out. Like, it doesn't matter if Phil's coming to you or whatever. In this season, who is it?
Marshall and Lance.
Marshall and Lance. They quit.
Agree.
And then Phil came up and they were like, he even said, even if you mustered up the strength to get to the mat, you still would have been eliminated. So he's not even actually, like, they quit and he's just telling them the news.
But I believe that okay, sorry, go ahead.
He didn't actually eliminate that.
He made the comment and being like, it is the first time that I had to come and like eliminate a team on the spot.
Yes.
So it is.
It's kind of wishy-washy. This instance, it's both. But a Phlimination to me is you've taken so long to do the task that production is like, we got to pack up. And Phil's got to come and say, guess what? You've taken as long as possible. And unfortunately, you've taken too long. And it's not a non-elimination leg. And I've eliminated you on the spot.
Okay, so I don't necessarily disagree with that. The thing that I think Brice can't get over, because he wants to just fight with me on this, is that the Phlimination is the act of Phil coming out onto the race course and saying your race is done. Whether you've quit, whether you have just run out of time, whether you just got there and everybody else has crossed the finish line, whatever. I believe a Phlimination is Phil coming out onto the race course and informing you that you are done here. Like, that is it.
The act of Phil.
Yes.
Right. No, that would be a philact act. That would be a philact.
What, you're just making words now.
That would be a philact, the act of Phil coming. But a Phil elimination. Phlimination is Phil coming out to eliminate you.
Yes. Great. Agree.
Yes.
But he's still
and yet all of these rules were broken on our season because Phil used the word Phlimination with Danny and Angie.
Yeah, which by the way,
don't even give me.
That's not even. That's like the least accurate thing.
Bring it up.
Meanwhile,
it is. But I think at this point, as Brooke does with her notes, just like, let's just move on from this.
Right, let's get into it.
What do you define it as?
Yes. Oh, come on.
What do you define the Phlimination?
I already gave my opinion. Why are you involving me in all of this?
No, you didn't.
We need to know.
What do you define it as?
Yes, Phil going to the spot and saying someone is eliminated.
Great, good, done.
Okay.
But in this case, they quit. So it doesn't matter whether they quit or they're continuing to go.
They were gone already.
So you're agreeing with Brooke saying, like, regardless, Phil walking out.
No, because they had quit.
No, thank you.
I mean, it's like New Era Survivor. Like, they don't deserve to be eliminated if they quit, you know?
Come on, come on, Caesar. Come
but
on.
If somebody at a tribal council is like, I'm done here, I want out, their torch gets snuffed.
Oh, yeah, but
they're not voted out, though. There's a difference.
But their torch still gets snuffed. Like, this is Phil's version of snuffing your torch, coming out onto the course and saying you're done here. If a person in Survivor at tribal council is like, I'm out, like, I'm done here.
But there's a difference.
What's his
getting
face?
voted out.
But if elimination,
Brooke, if you fart in a desert and nobody is around, is it still a fart?
Yes.
Yeah.
I mean, who would know but you, though?
But it still happened.
Still
Just because things happen when no one is around doesn't mean they don't happen. Why do I have to fart in a desert? Like, why is this?
I don't know.
Why am I in a desert? Why am I gassy? What is happening?
Knowing that you are such an astute fan of Amazing Race, I'd love to just ask you a question to kind of set the temperature of like how we will move forward, if that's okay with you.
Yes, let's do it.
Okay.
Are we ever going to let sleeping dogs lie? I'm going to use this for the veterinary. Let sleep. Okay, fine. You know what? Let's just
what are you scared of? Are you
I'm
scared of
scared.
something, Brooke? Okay. So let's ask. So Omer,
prepped him for this. Okay.
No, this is great. How would you define a Phil elimination?
How would I define a Phlimination?
Yes.
Phil Keoghan announcing at the pit stop that you're the last team to arrive and you have been eliminated from the race.
Okay.
See, he just says it at the pit stop.
At the pit stop. So a Phil elimination.
Phlimination.
Okay.
So you're telling me that every elimination then is a Phlimination?
I think that it has to be at the map to be an official Phlimination. But as you know, in Survivor, sometimes people like Wanda and Jonathan get eliminated not at tribal council, and there's some luster and loss to that. Remember that when that Eric and Lisa got eliminated off at the starting mat? Like, that was
we're still on Amazing Race. Yeah, I thought we were going to Survivor. Yes, no, I'm with you. So we have my definition of a Phlimination is when Phil comes out to the course and everyone else has already checked in. And I mean, yes, but okay, but. Because every elimination is just an elimination, but a Phlimination is when he comes out to you, whether you're rolling out hay bales and, you're the last people there in the dark and he has to let you go because everyone else is checked in, or you're still making a ladle and the second to last team of Brooke and Scott have already checked in. Thank God that you guys missed the ferry because otherwise we would have been out. Or you're sitting in Egypt and have decided you can't go on any further and you're Marshall and Lance and say, everyone else is checked in. I think we give up. And then Phil comes out to the course to let you go. But Brice disagrees a little bit, but we've spent many hours.
It's 2-1. Although neither of us are.
No, yours is not what either of us say.
So settle this, Omer. If you quit, can you be eliminated?
I don't think you can be eliminated if you're quit.
Thank you. That's all I'm saying.
Oh, great. Some guy who never played The Amazing Race thinks the wrong thing. Okay.
I'm sorry. Can somebody rewind 7 seconds to what Brooke was then just saying about survivors loving Amazing Race, all of this, and now all of a sudden you
can love something you don't understand, and I think that's what's happening here. And so,
or you could be on an expert on something you've never done.
You know what?
Yeah, but not this.
What I'm realizing, Omer, is Anthony and Bailey would have a correct answer. So I'm going to have to reach out to Anthony and Bailey from the last season of Amazing Race and see what they say, because their opinion is the only opinion that matters.
I'm just going to reach out to Phil. How about that?
And so we just figured we'd bring this back again and let's just talk about this so that if anything happens this season, we are clear. Now, Brooke, explain to the people what you believe to be what a Phil elimination is.
When you can say it correctly, I feel like you can get credit for
Phlimination.
Phlimination. Phlimination. Just say
Phlimination.
Okay, well, close enough. Yes. What a Phlimination is when Phil has to come out on the race course to tell you you're done here. So that is my answer. And everyone who is smart and with it and knows the Amazing Race's answer to what a Phlimination is.
Now, girl,
I'm
that
digging
seems
myself
like,
a hole.
yes,
Okay.
girl, because that is my definition of a Phil elimination. A Phil elimination is when wherever you are, as long as you don't quit, because if you quit, it's not a Phil elimination. If Phil has to come to you, that's my definition, girl. Okay? So we're clear. So are you trying to agree with me? Are you trying to throw a loop for me?
No, I'm saying whether you quit or you don't quit. If you don't get to the mat at the end and Phil comes to you, it's a Phlimination. I understand that you say if you quit, then you're not Phliminated. You're just out. So yes, I think we both agree that if you're not on the finish mat for the leg and Phil has to come to you, if you've already quit, you're saying not a Phlimination. I'm saying no matter what, if he has to come to you and says your race here is done, it is a Phlimination.
Now, Brooke, I'm going to let you live because it seems like your definition has changed.
No, it has not. It has certainly, most certainly not. But unfortunately, Brice, it turns out we're both wrong.
Well, we decided to stop going back and forth. I decided to stop arguing with an Amazing Race winner. And we decided to go directly to the source. Please explain, Brooke.
So I was very confident that one Phil Keoghan, the smart, handsome, funny, forever host of The Amazing Race, would agree that a Phlimination is when Phil has to come to you on the race course, no matter if you quit or not, and says, you're done. Don't keep racing. Everybody else has crossed the finish line. It's over. So I asked Phil. I reached out to Phil and I said, hi, Phil. Remember me? We have chatted, so it's fine. Like, it was good. He's very kind. He is always so wonderful. And I said, on this podcast, we have a back and forth. It is me, who is a racer, and some guy who played some other show who thinks he knows better. Here's what I think. Here's what he thinks. Could you just please agree with me and or give me the correct definition of what you believe a Phlimination is? Because if it's named after Phil, Brice and I both agreed that we will defer respectfully to Phil Keoghan. Turns out we're both wrong.
Well, I mean, you did. Okay. Phil did respond back to Brooke and said, it was a fan thing that I believe was just a play on an elimination. Right. So essentially what Phil is saying is it's a play on words when he has to eliminate a team, when the team is not on the end mat.
Oh, no. Disagree. This just says it's just a play on words for an elimination. So every time someone is eliminated, it's a elimination.
Now the fans know that is not the truth. A regular elimination is when you hit the mat and Phil eliminates you. That's just an elimination. A Phil a nation.
I want to make sure I'm reading it in its entirety, and you didn't take a quote out of context because I wouldn't put that past you. Right. Okay. Let's see. It was a fan thing that I believe was just a play on any elimination, he says. That's what it said. Big caps, any elimination. I think I have an old pin and fridge magnet somewhere, smiley face. And then we go on to discuss. But Phil just says it's a play on words on
Phil's
any elimination. See, so now we both think Phil's wrong.
No, Phil is wrong. And mind you, probably how you worded the question. Of course, he's saying every elimination is a Phil elimination. But the fans have decided that, no, because every elimination isn't a Phil elimination. Yes, Phil does eliminate every team. That's what he is saying. However, what we are discussing is the Phlimination. And the Phlimination is when a team does not finish and
so
Phil has...
Now, look, Phil doesn't agree with either one of us. in all fairness, but I so badly want you to be wrong that I'm just going to side with Phil. And so what you're saying is the host of the show is wrong. And you, a Survivor player who has never set foot on The Amazing Race, knows better than myself.
No, because
Amazing Race winners and the host of the show himself. That's just so we're clear here.
Okay, so riddle me this. So why in season 5 did they corn it Phil Elimination? Why didn't they corn it Phil Elimination season 4, season 3, and season 2?
Oh, I mean, I think he's wrong also. I think that it's not just any elimination.
Thank you, okay?
But if I have to choose between siding with Phil and having you lose and siding with anybody else, check out my name, Brice.
No, because Phil is just being the hey Brooke, how are you?
I was very clear in how I asked it too. So there is no, gray area here. I was very clear.
Listen, Phil been doing this a long time.
If this is what Phil says, I changed my answer to side with Phil. 2 against 1.
Okay, Brooke, every elimination is a Phil elimination, is what you're saying.
If it means that you concede that you're wrong, then sure.
Yeah. This is all leaning towards I am right. A Phil elimination is when a team is still actively competing. Okay. Keyword actively competing. All of the other racers have completed, and now Phil has to come to them and say, Brooke and Brice, your time is up here on the race. You've been eliminated.
But here's what I'm saying. You are actively competing until you are told to go home, because, hear me out, if a leg is a non-elimination leg, then, and you are, even if you decide, I don't want to do this anymore, until you're told to go home, you could be 26 hours behind. You're still competing.
I agree. I agree with that. However, if a team gives up and quits and it's a non-elimination round, they should go home because they quit.
They'll be eliminated when he comes out to the course to tell them go home.
But no, because they quit. So you can't. When you quit, you forgo a Phil elimination.
Do you know how many times people on The Amazing Race now, this is one thing I never said. I cried. I said I can't. I was weak as a noodle. But I never said the words, I quit. But do you know how many people say I quit when they're not actually quitting? So
no. So there's a difference of saying you quit and then you actually quitting. You know that, Brooke. Like when a team actually gives up and quits. Brooke.
Yeah, I'm with you. I am with you. I just think that until someone tells you you're going home, until the fat lady's saying, you're still in the race.
No, I think that's how you should play.
Did this go the way that you expected it to go?
I mean, I'm right. I mean, Phil's wrong because Phil is just being cute and just saying every elimination is a Phil. No, Phil, it's not.
I love you, Phil.
Every elimination, you are not going to a team. Okay?
Okay.
So, okay. Well, I mean, this didn't go anywhere where I thought it was going to go. Thank you, Phil. But listen,
Phil.
It is safe to say that Brooke and I are really excited for this week of Amazing Race.
Could you just put my name back up for one more second?
I can. Because I'm not wrong. You're wrong. But you can tune in every week. Brooke and I will be covering this whole season in its entirety. And if you haven't checked out a Purple Pants pit stop coverage, welcome. Okay. You are not eliminated here. Because we're here. We're not going to come to you. Well, we might come to you. You never know. But we're just super excited. And we thank Phil for
you. Then please have a Paloma and a nice glass of wine waiting for us. Thanks so much.
Yes. Well, this has been your Purple Pants podcast. Kind of getting to the bottom of Phlimination, even though Phil got it wrong. But listen, regardless, I'm excited. I'm excited to see Phil meet all of these amazing racers. And if you haven't already, you can go back and check Brooke and I's first look at the cast season 37. We're giving our hot takes on the teams that we love and how we think we will do. Brooke, I can't wait to talk about episode 1 with you later in the week.
Sounds good. Thanks for chatting. I'm right. You're wrong.
I'm right. Brooke's wrong. Bye.
It's
the Purple Pants Podcast. You better listen in public, might make your stomach hurt. Ooh. It's the Purple Pants Podcast. You trying to unwind? You better get that box wine. It's the Purple Pants Podcast. You trying to get your snack? You better hurry right back though. It's the Purple Pants. It's the Purple Pants.